Imagine spending like $50,000 to build this state-of-the-art, architecturally stunning bridge, right? But then you realize it inexplicably stops just like 10 feet short of the opposite shore.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that is a frustrating visual.
Right, and every single day you're just watching people walk across, they get to the very edge, and then they just fall right into the water.
It's a brutal image, but honestly, if you look at the financials and, the operations of almost any modern business today, that 10-foot gap isn't hypothetical at all.
No, not at all.
It's the literal space between your marketing efforts and your actual realized revenue.
Welcome to the deep dive. Because look, if you're listening to this, you probably know exactly what that gap feels like. You spend serious budget on brilliant content, you run these targeted ad campaigns, you see a massive spike in your web traffic.
Right. The traffic looks great on paper.
Exactly. But somehow those leads just slip through the cracks before they ever turn into real sales. And it's infuriating.
It really is.
Yeah.
And that gap is exactly what we're dissecting today. So we've gone through this huge stack of recent industry white papers, some really deep tech journalism analysis, and this is the really cool part, some fascinating case studies coming out of HubSpot regarding their 2025 and 2026 roadmap.
Yeah, the mission today is figuring out how these new AI agents are finally building that last 10 feet of the bridge. And let's be super clear right up front. We're not talking about those clunky, annoying pop-up chatbots from like 5 years ago.
Please, no, not the how can I help you today bots that just link to a generic FAQ page.
Right, exactly. We're looking at a massive transition toward autonomous digital employees.
Yeah, and the first thing to really understand from the research, the core of all this, is the fundamental shift in agency.
Okay, unpack that a bit. What do you mean by agency here?
Well, a traditional chatbot, it waits for you to ask it a question, and then it just scans a database to retrieve a static answer. It's totally reactive.
Yeah.
An AI agent, on the other hand, is given a goal, and then it figures out the steps required to achieve that goal on its own.
Right. So it's basically the difference between like a digital receptionist just standing there handing out standard brochures versus a proactive digital sales analyst actively crunching data in the background.
Exactly. That's a great way to put it.
But how does that actually work in practice? Because I think a lot of people hear AI and marketing and they just assume it means, I don't know, writing spam emails a lot faster.
Yeah, that's a huge misconception.
Yeah.
Kieran Flanagan, he's an executive at HubSpot. He had this really great insight in one of the reports we looked at. He pointed out that AI isn't here to replace people. It's actually designed to handle massive, complex data processing so humans can finally do higher-level work.
Because humans are notoriously bad at processing massive amounts of raw data.
We're terrible at it. For instance, these new AI agents can analyze 12 months of your CRM data, like your central nervous system, where every single customer interaction is tracked.
And the data in the source material shows they do this with 3 times more accuracy than human guessing, which is wild. But let's look at the actual mechanics of that. Like, if a human sales rep is looking at an account, they might see, oh, this person opened our email yesterday. I'll give them a quick call.
Right. They're relying heavily on recency bias and just like gut feeling.
Exactly.
But the human brain just can't hold a year's worth of behavioral data across thousands of contacts in its working memory. It's impossible. But the AI agent isn't just looking at yesterday. It's mathematically correlating hundreds of these tiny micro-interactions.
So it's looking at the whole picture.
Exactly. It sees that a prospect attended a webinar, say 6 months ago, then they paused on your pricing page for exactly 3 minutes last Tuesday, and then they clicked a very specific case study link from a newsletter today.
So it's identifying the invisible patterns that precede an actual purchase.
Precisely. It shifts your entire posture from blindly chasing leads to having the system proactively deliver this highly curated list of the best opportunities directly to you.
Okay, so you have this brilliant digital analyst working in the background, surfacing the best potential buyers. But, and here's the catch, logically, you can't analyze data if you don't have any traffic in the first place.
Right, you need people to analyze.
Yeah. So how is the AI actually getting people onto the bridge to begin with?
Well, that requires content. And producing high-quality content at scale is just notoriously exhausting. I mean, to compete right now, businesses need to be omnichannel.
Which means being literally everywhere all at once.
Exactly. You have to maintain a cohesive presence across YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, email newsletters, SMS, all simultaneously. And for a small team, it's just a massive resource drain. It burns people out.
Which leads us to the content remix concept detailed in the HubSpot Breeze documentation. When I read this, it honestly sounded a bit like a cheat code.
It kind of is, yeah.
The idea is you create one core piece of high-value content, say a really deep, well-researched 20-minute YouTube video, and then the AI agent takes that single asset and autonomously remixes it into a dozen different formats.
Right. It actually parses the transcript, extracts the core arguments, and then generates the LinkedIn posts, the Twitter threads, the drip nurture emails, those automated sequences sent out over several weeks.
And it does all of this in a matter of minutes.
Minutes, yeah.
Okay, but I really have to push back here for a second.
Go for it.
If a company is suddenly pumping out a massive volume of AI-generated posts across all these platforms, isn't it just going to sound like a completely soulless robot?
Yeah.
Because we've all seen those incredibly bland, generic AI posts online.
Oh, absolutely. Delve into the dynamic landscape of...
Yes, exactly. They're instantly recognizable, and honestly, they probably damage a brand more than they help.
That is a very valid concern, and it's the exact trap that a lot of early AI adopters fell into. But the new generation of agents doesn't just write generic text. They mathematically map your specific brand voice.
How does it even do that, though?
Well, you feed the system your previous successful content, and it conducts this deep cadence analysis. It learns your specific vocabulary preferences, your sentence length variability, your level of formality, and even, your specific brand of humor.
Wow. So when it remixes that YouTube video into an email, it's essentially acting like a highly trained ghostwriter who's studied your entire archive before typing a single word.
Exactly. It completely removes that robotic feel while still maintaining the really high output. The Franchise Brokers Association actually used this specific system. And franchising is a super complex niche, so getting the messaging right is really tough.
So what did they do?
They started producing daily, highly optimized SEO articles using the AI. And the results were staggering. They saw a 250% increase in their content volume.
250%.
Yeah, which naturally drove a 216% increase in actual inbound leads.
I mean, generating 216% more leads sounds like an absolute dream scenario for any business. But let's be realistic here. If my sales team suddenly gets flooded with triple the inbound emails overnight, the system breaks.
Oh yeah, completely.
They physically can't process that volume. So how is the AI preventing a massive bottleneck at this stage?
So this is where we enter the conversion engine phase and where that 10-foot gap really starts to close. The first mechanism to prevent that bottleneck is AI lead scoring. Think of it like a highly observant casino floor manager.
Okay, I like where this is going. Tell me about the casino manager.
Well, casino managers isn't just standing at the door counting how many people walk through.
Right.
Right? They're specifically tracking who stops at the high-stakes tables, who's hovering near the ATM, and who's just, wandering around taking advantage of the free drinks.
Right.
The AI agent is doing the exact same thing on your digital floor.
So it's dynamically scoring leads based on their micro behaviors, not just static demographic info like, oh, they have manager in their job title.
Yep.
Exactly. It flags the high rollers for the sales team and basically leaves the window shoppers alone. But, and this is key, once a lead is deemed highly qualified, you still have to get them to actually convert. They have to sign up or fill out a form.
Which brings us to the absolute biggest conversion killer on the entire internet, the massive mandatory web form.
It's the worst.
Nothing makes me close a browser tab faster than being asked for my phone number, my company size, and my job title just to download a simple 2-page PDF.
Right, because friction causes drop-off. Every single extra field you add to a form literally costs you revenue. And this is where a feature in the 2025 timeframe, like Breeze Intelligence, performs something called form shortening.
Okay.
So when a user lands on a page and starts typing their email address, the AI agent goes to work in the background in a matter of milliseconds.
Okay, let's explain the mechanics of that, because working in the background sounds a little bit like magic.
Wait.
What is the system actually doing while I'm typing my email? It's pinging massive data enrichment APIs. As soon as you type, Sarah at techcorp.com, the system matches that domain name to public corporate registries, LinkedIn data, and your own existing CRM database.
In milliseconds.
In milliseconds.
Ugh.
And if it instantly confirms the company name, the industry, and the job title, it automatically hides those fields on the user's screen. The form just dynamically shrinks as you type.
See, I compare that to walking into your favorite coffee shop, right? Where the barista already knows your super complex order. It removes all the friction from the transaction. You just tap your card and go.
That's a perfect analogy.
But I have to ask from a privacy standpoint, is there a risk that autofilling a user's corporate data feels a bit, I don't know, big brother to them? If a website already knows I'm a director of marketing before I even tell them, doesn't that creep people out and cause them to abandon the page anyway?
It's a really fair question regarding the user experience. But what the data actually shows is that because it's only pulling publicly available professional data, not personal, private information, the convenience heavily outweighs the surprise factor.
Interesting. So people just want the path of least resistance.
Always. And the numbers bear this out perfectly. Businesses using these AI features to shorten forms and reduce friction are seeing a 54% higher lead conversion rate.
Wait, 54%?
Yep, a 54% jump.
That is staggering. You aren't even spending an extra dime on ads to acquire those people. You're just removing the friction from the doorway so the people who are already interested can actually walk inside.
It's pure, unadulterated efficiency.
All right, so let's recap. We've got the lead sorted, the bottleneck is prevented by the Casino Manager AI, and the forms are practically filling themselves out. But what about the ad budget itself?
All right.
Because if the AI is doing all this dynamic sorting on the website, it feels incredibly inefficient to still be running static, set-and-forget digital ads out there on the web. Is the media buying side of a house getting the same real-time treatment?
Absolutely it is. According to the tech analysis we reviewed, the traditional end-of-month marketing report is basically a relic.
Because it's too late.
Exactly. By the time a human sits down, analyzes the data to see if a campaign was profitable, the money is already gone. AI agents are now performing what's called proactive optimization.
Meaning, while the campaign is still running?
Right. While the campaign is live, the agent is constantly analyzing the underlying data streams. It immediately suggests next best actions while the money is actively being spent.
So if a specific ad variant is performing exceptionally well in, say, a certain region, the AI isn't waiting 30 days to point that out in a PowerPoint. It's pivoting the budget on day 2.
Yes, exactly. It's adjusting the sails while the wind is actually blowing. But, and this is where it gets crazy, we really need to look at the 2026 projection outlined in these tech journalism pieces, because this is where the entire paradigm of advertising fundamentally shifts.
I am so ready for this part.
We're moving toward AI agents negotiating media buys directly with each other.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Let's slow down and really look at this because the implications here are just wild. We aren't just talking about AI suggesting a strategy to a human media buyer anymore. We're talking about like algorithmic high-frequency trading, but for ad space.
Exactly that.
Yeah.
Think about how Wall Street shifted from human beings shouting at each other on a trading floor to algorithms executing millions of micro trades a second based on incredibly complex parameters.
Right.
In the near future, your company's AI agent via something like Breeze Assistant will interface directly with a publisher's AI agent, say a digital magazine, a social network, or even a podcast platform.
So how does that AI to AI negotiation actually play out in real time?
Well, your agent knows exactly what a highly qualified lead is worth to your specific business, right? Based on all that historical CRM data we discussed earlier.
Right. It knows the math.
And the publisher's agent knows exactly what their current inventory of ad space is worth. So they negotiate the placement, the highly specific targeting parameters, and the exact price in milliseconds.
That's insane.
Your agent essentially says, hey, I'll pay $3.12 for an ad slot, but only if the user is on a mobile device and has visited our pricing page before. And the publisher's AI accepts or counters instantly.
That completely removes the human ego, the endless back and forth email chains, the, expensive steak lunches to negotiate bulk rates.
Exactly.
Yeah.
By shifting to instant algorithmic efficiency, it drastically reduces excess costs. This levels the playing field in a massive way.
Because it democratizes it.
Yes, a small business owner who could never afford a dedicated six-figure team of media buyers will suddenly have enterprise-level algorithmic efficiency working for them around the clock.
That is massive for anyone trying to scale a smaller operation. Okay, so let's trace the path again. We generated the content at scale with the remixer. The AI scored the inbound leads. The form was frictionless. The ads optimized and bought themselves. The customer crossed the bridge and bought the product. The revenue is secured. So we're done, right?
Well, not quite.
Oh, come on.
Because acquiring a customer is only the very first revenue event. Sustained business growth relies heavily on retention and lifetime value.
True.
If you look at the data, 80% of customers value the experience a company provides just as much as the product itself.
80%. Wow. So the product could be incredible, life-changing even, but if dealing with the company afterward is a nightmare, they're gone and they aren't coming back.
Exactly. So how do AI agents secure this final piece of the revenue puzzle? This brings us to 247 autonomous customer support.
And I'm going to be completely honest here. Automated customer support historically has been terrible. Press 1 for sales, press 2 to be disconnected. It's awful. How are these 2025 AI agents any different from the infuriating phone trees that make people want to throw their phones out the window?
It's night and day. The difference lies in deep integration and autonomy. These new customer agents aren't just reading from rigid keyword-based scripts. They're trained directly on a company's internal knowledge base, their real website, and their actual product documentation.
So they actually understand the context of the user's problem.
Exactly. But more importantly, they can execute tasks autonomously in the back end.
Okay, so instead of the AI just linking me to an FAQ page on how to process a return, it actually goes into the billing system and processes the return for me.
Precisely. If a customer wants to change a shipping address, check an order status, or upgrade their subscription, the agent interfaces with your shipping or billing software, verifies the data, and makes the change instantly. The reports highlight a really cool case study with a company called Zeeple.
Okay, what did they do?
They deployed a customer agent to handle their inquiries around the clock, 24/7.
And what were the results? Because usually customer satisfaction plummets when you remove human support staff. People like talking to people.
They achieved a 73% customer satisfaction rate.
Wait, really? For fully automated support, that is practically unheard of.
And the business owner didn't have to micromanage a single ticket to achieve it. Better support directly equals revenue growth because satisfied customers come back and they tell their peers. The AI agent isn't just a cost-saving measure to reduce headcount. It's actively protecting and growing future revenue.
Wow. We've covered a tremendous amount of ground here today, from omni-channel content remixing to high-frequency ad trading and autonomous backend support. If I'm a business owner listening to this right now and I want to start modernizing my business, my first instinct might be to panic, rip out my entire existing software stack, and try to rebuild it all by tomorrow morning. I assume the experts say that's a terrible idea.
It is a fantastic way to completely break your business overnight.
I figured.
The universal advice across all these white papers is explicitly against trying to change your entire system at once. The recommended implementation strategy is to start with what they call low-precision tasks.
Low precision, meaning things where a slight AI hallucination or a minor error won't bankrupt the company or severely damage the brand.
Exactly. Start with high-volume, repetitive, low-risk tasks. Have an AI agent draft follow-up emails for your sales team, but have a human review them before hitting send. Have it conduct basic competitor research and summarize the findings. Let it handle the initial triage of customer support tickets before routing them to the right human department.
That's a really great framing. You're basically hiring a digital intern, not a new CEO. You let them prove themselves on the small stuff first, you build trust in the system slowly, and gradually you hand over more autonomy.
Exactly.
And it really highlights the human element in all of this, which I love. We're automating the heavy lifting so human beings can focus on what algorithms literally cannot do. The reports specifically call out two things: vision and relationships.
Yeah, because you simply can't automate the creative vision of where a company needs to pivot next. And you certainly can't automate genuine human empathy.
Exactly. And that's incredibly freeing. But before we wrap up, I know you were looking at that 2026 media buying prediction, the AI negotiating with AI, and you had a thought that takes this a step further than what the sources explicitly stated. It feels like there's a bigger implication here.
There is, and it's a natural progression of the data we've discussed. It's something for you to mull over as you think about the future of your own industry. We know from the research that by 2026, your company's AI agents will negotiate ad space with publisher algorithms. But think about what happens when your individual customer starts using their own personal AI agent to do their daily shopping and research.
Oh, wow. So my phone's AI goes out and negotiates for my car insurance or buys my groceries for me?
Yes. Very soon, your company's AI might not be marketing to human beings at all. Your AI might be trying to convince your customer's personal AI to make a purchase on their behalf.
That completely flips the script on everything we know about sales. What does your marketing strategy even look like when your target audience is a literal algorithm? That is slightly terrifying, but absolutely fascinating. Because suddenly, the bridge we were talking about at the very beginning, the bridge connecting your marketing to your revenue, it's no longer just built by code, it's being crossed by code.
It really is. The mechanics of revenue are fundamentally changing right in front of us.
Right.
The tools to build this new bridge are available right now. It's simply a matter of deciding when you're going to lay the first stone.
Incredible insights today. Thank you for dissecting this with me. And to you listening, thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll catch you on the next one.